Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. Here's the gist of today's video. So, deer catching season is about to be upon us. Some states it's already open for the bing bangs. About a month ago, I took a super nice buck with a crossbow. But we're about to be able to go into the woods with the bow light slingers. Reach out and touch something. So, this week, I took a bunch of stuff out to the range that's kind of first in my mind of what I want to use. This video is one of them. So, you guys that watch the show saw a little while back, I picked this up. This is somewhat of a unicorn. I found this at Tolliver's. This is a Remington 700 Sendero in 264 Win Mag. How cool is that? So, yeah, kind of front to back, Remington 700 Sendero. 26-inch heavy fluted barrel. And you guys that watched the show, a bunch of y'all cried about it, a bunch of y'all were mad about it, but I had Silencer Central thread this barrel for me. Check that out. How groovy is that? This is my Silencer Central Banish 30 gold can on there. A bunch of y'all said, oh, don't thread it, it's going to hurt the accuracy. It didn't. If anything, it's better now. But 26-inch barrel and suppressed, and it's a Remington 700 Sendero that's pretty rare. Trigger in this is phenomenal. On top, I got an Arkin EPL4. That's a good optic. Got the knobby on top where we can dial it for long range. 264 Win Mag is going to be an awesome long range one. I'm considering taking this one on my elk hunting trip. But all that being said, yeah. Since I sent it in to get threaded, I took the scope off, so I put the scope back on and then took it to the range, and then we had to get it sighted in. And it's going to be ready now when we want to go catch a deer or an elk with 264 Win Mag. I dialed it in today with this Remington Core-Lokt. They still load it for 264 Win Mag, and it is a 140 grainer. I feel like my light here is on the fritz. Is it flashing for y'all? I don't know. Anyways, what's a 264 Win Mag look like? Well, looks like that. Essentially, it's a 6.5 Creedmoor with, let's say, 300 to 400 more feet per second. Yeah, it'll do. But let's head out to the range, get it sighted in, and ready for deer catching season. So when I need it, I can just grab it off the shelf, hit the woods, and be ready. Let's hit it to the range footage. All right, so back at 100 yards here, 140 grain Core-Lokt in 264 Win Mag. This is one of the ones that's, this one's gonna stay on the keep list, this Remington 700 Sendero. But recently had this threaded at Silencer Central. When I did that, I had to take the optic off. So I need to make sure that this is going to be dead on, because the bing bang season for whitetails is coming up here faster than we realize it. And I want to have the 264 Win Mag ready and dialed in. Have never tried the 140 grain Core-Lokts in it. Let's see what happens. Also need to get a chronograph speed reading so I can do some drop charts with this thing. But here we go. Center target, top paper. Hopefully don't hit my camera down there. Do my best here on the squeezes. That can, that's my Banish 30 gold can. 264 is smaller than 30, so we can send it through this can. Do my best here, send 3. Hey, we are still kissing the bullseye even after I took the scope off and put it back on. I really like this rest too. That's the Caldwell Rock BR. A lot of times I'll use a lead sled for this type of stuff, but the more I use this, I really like it. But let's send 2 more into this group. Might not need to touch it. I do want to get the chronograph speed though. Well, that's still in the bullseye. Still working on a 1/2 inch, 0.6 inch group. The box says this is supposed to be 3,030 feet per second, but good squeeze there. And you know what? I'm gonna bring that group up a click and maybe right 2 clicks. So let's go up a click and right 2 clicks. And, whoops, don't lose that cap, man. I probably would be fine leaving it like that. But you know what? This is fun. So let's do another group. I already made sure that everything is torqued down. But this is fun. 264 Win Mag. Trying to squeeze some precision with these Core-Lokts here. Where do we want to go with this one? Let's go top right target. Hopefully we didn't bring it too far right with that. Nope. I think we're in the bullseye now, y'all. Yeah, baby. Those were in the same hole, and that's definitely inside an inch. Let's run down there and look at the target quick. I'm gonna leave it there. We're money. And I need to check the chronograph speeds on this. We're ready for some pop with this baby. All right, so I figured it'd be good to have the chronograph speed because we got to make a drop table for this, not just take the box velocity. So see if we can get a reading here on this 264 Win Mag. Don't hit the chronograph. 3,078. I always put the camera right up on it in case y'all don't believe me, but with that Sendero and the long barrel, we're getting actually faster velocities than what the Remington box says. So 3,078, that's what I'm gonna key into my drop table. And we're gonna measure those groups and I'll show you my drop table here too. All right, so I just put that speed into my calculator here. You can see the G1 ballistic coefficient with that Core-Lokt is actually a 0.384. That's higher than you might expect, but that's what it is. But you can see the velocity I got keyed in there, 2 inches height over bore. And I went ahead and said, give me the data for 1,200 yards. Yeah, every 100 yards. So you can see I got it sighted in dead on at 100. And then this column here is the drop in inches. So yeah, 400 yards, 2 feet. If you wanted to hold over, 2 feet over. But if you're dialing, I've got a mil scope on there. Is it mils? I almost always order it in mils. Yeah, it's in mils. But there's the MOA and the mils dials all the way out to 1,200 yards. If you want to talk about energy over here, people say, oh, you need 1,000 for a deer. You know, we could talk about that till we're blue in the face, but that 1,000 foot-pounds of energy is right at the 600 yard mark if we wanted to go by that. But 264 Win Mag, hey, it's a pretty flat round with a lot of sauce on it. And I think it ought to work pretty good for us on some deer. It's kind of interesting to see the velocity too. It's supersonic to 1,000 yards there. Pretty cool. Pretty interesting stuff. But now I got the data saved in this video forever. Anytime I want to look up my 264 Core-Lokt drops. Pretty cool. All right, so not too shabby, huh? Pretty cool that the scope, I put it back on and torqued it back down. It was still hitting essentially bullseye. That's kind of cool. That doesn't always happen, but yeah, it worked out this time. 264 Win Mag's pretty awesome. I just measured those groups. So the first one there, cold barrel 0.60 inch group. Hey, I like it. That's pretty good. and that's with those 140 grain Core-Lokts. The second one, warm barrel, 2 in the same hole, pretty near. Hard to say. Was that me? Did I change my technique? Hard to say. Either which way, I did 2 groups getting this thing dialed in, and both of them were under an inch group. That one's almost half an inch group. But hey, that thing's dialed. Over the years, I've tried to remember and do it more often to save that when I have a loading that I'm going to hunt with or go do some long-range steel stuff with, to memorialize it. Hey, this thing likes that 140 grain Core-Lokt. Here's the drop table. And if I'm going to go hunting, I can just screenshot that video, write it down on a stock, whatever I want to do, and go from there. But I mean, at 300 yards, it's 0.9 mils. I mean, not too often I take a fling on a deer past 300 yards. I took a mule deer last year at 430 with 300 Win Mag, but that's not a very common occurrence for me. Most of the places I have to chase deer around here, it's like 50 yards and in. So, but let's see what happens. Appreciate y'all watching. Let me know what you think about 264 Win Mag. Hey, I dig it. I love this one. It likes that Core-Lokt stuff. And again, I'm a big fan of those Arkans. You watch the show, code WHOTEEWHO will get you a big discount on Arkan optics, at least 25% off, sometimes more. But hey, appreciate you watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. I am excited about the 264 Win Mag. Appreciate y'all. WHOTEEWHO.